Alright guys, so we watched this week Black Christmas, in keeping with our holiday tradition here.
This is the 2006 version that
It is
I had
indeed.
not seen, but that's fine because I haven't seen the 1974 version either.
There's also a 2019 version from Blumhouse coming out
That we have not
quite
seen yet
shortly. This one, it's not the best, movie, not the worst. It does have one thing going for it this holiday season. It has so many familiar faces that you can watch die.
It's a sorority house full of actresses that you probably know either from your childhood, a TV show, right, or a TV show currently on the air in some cases.
Party of Five, you got Buffy, Arrow, there's bitches from everything.
And there's lots to get into in spoilers with the wackiness or some of the things that happen.
Exactly, so that being said, if you've seen this or don't care, follow us over to spoilers, and if not, punch out now.
If you need a place to rent content, you better listen. We're Cannibal Video and we eat the competition.
All right, here we are for spoilers on Black Christmas.
The blackest of all Christmases.
Yeah, so, what do you think about it?
What did you think about it? You always ask me what I thought about it.
All right, well, I think it had a couple of fun deaths. I think overall this is a movie that is worth watching, but it's not very good. It's kind of a forgettable Christmas movie. Well, it's nice that it has a higher budget, so they have some certain things. There are the things that I remembered that weren't in the movie, and I'm trying to think maybe they were in the original, and I'm just in my head swapped them. Okay. I remember some part where there's a wheat thrashery type thing that's sucking in a person by they're tangled in Christmas lights and they get pulled into it.
What?
Some bullshit like that. I remember something where somebody is tied up with Christmas lights and they're on the ceiling and the girls look up and they're ah, and there's a dead body is on the thing.
Okay, it's weird that you say that because there was a scene where I thought that was going to happen because she's calling a cell phone and they look up and they see a light and I thought they were going to shine their flashlight and the guy was going to be right up there. Or
yeah,
something like that.
So let's just go to that scene real quick.
Yeah.
You see, the cell phone is up there. You can see it.
I don't know what we're looking at anymore.
Where are you even looking? Because it's seemingly a room that just has a never-ending void. Because the attic doesn't overlook a loft any of the rooms.
I took it that's a hole that leads into the attic, and she can see the glow of the cell phone through the hole. But that's not how I took it at first, and I was expecting him to motion to her and her to turn the flashlight, and the guy just to be up there, right?
That was just a really weird scene.
Holding the cell phone in his teeth, perhaps. Yeah, that
and with his Spider-Man hand,
yeah,
just like that.
Yeah, like Heredity, he's just up on the ceiling, and you're why is he up on the ceiling? But to your earlier thing about the Christmas things or whatever, you've seen more horror movies, you've seen more Christmas horror movies. This to me just felt kind
of generic.
Well, if you just asked someone what should happen in a Christmas horror movie, and you gave them the beats, they'd be oh, this and this, and it would just
well, I think being it's a studio film, you kind of had that where they're okay, well, you got to do this and you got to do that. Well, that doesn't really make sense. Doesn't matter. How about some ridiculous shit? But there are some things that that don't make sense for a studio film. You wouldn't think there'd be an incestuous relationship that would father a father-daughter killing squad. That seems like a little strange.
A brother-father. Let's
Yes.
But okay, let's dive into that because that's one of my main positives about the movie. There is some grim, weird stuff with the mom. There's the incest rape part, which is obviously that's on the top.
So weird.
My little Agnes.
Even later, there's a part that would give me nightmares, I feel where she was and I could just eat you up.
You're my cookie, and I could gobble you up.
And all the angle it's filmed at, and she's so crazy looking, and it's this whole thing. It's American Horror Story.
The mom is fantastic because she is very creepy.
Right, she's
and
amazing.
It seems real. I'm oh, that's the best actress of the movie.
Yeah, she's
not in it that much though. So
she's a creepy person. It's not a creepy thing in a movie.
Yeah,
she became
a bad parent.
She acted all creepy and messed up.
Santa ain't coming to see you.
Russians shot his sleigh down. Santa Claus is dead.
It isn't like they had to put, makeup or prosthetics on her or do something weird. She's just acting creepy, which is great.
Yeah.
And yes, she's only in flashbacks. She's long dead. She's only a few times.
No,
There's like three or four flashbacks.
She was great. Really enjoyed her. I think the flashbacks kind of made the movie because they didn't have much else. It felt, when I say like very generic, where they're like, okay, so we're going to remake this movie. We're going to put a whole bunch of famous teen girls into this. They're probably in their 20s actually during this. And like people are going to just flock to this. Anyone who likes that, oh, like this, cool, bring this in, awesome. And studio film. But then like little things like that, like incest, and I'm gonna make cookies out of your fucking back and cook that shit.
Which makes no sense and is crazy, but that's great.
Most disturbing scene is when he's dunking them. It's essentially beef jerky. Can we agree? And he's dunking it in milk and just like,
Billy was declared insane.
A close-up of the teeth too. That's like nightmare fuel. Because sometimes as a kid you watch a movie that's not even a horror movie, but there's something like that in it, and if you like focus on it.
A kiss. Oh, your dear old granny.
Like that's his teeth and the gnashing of the things and the mouth and all that stuff.
It's a creepy character. He has. They don't say what the disease is or whatever. What a liver problem.
Yeah,
and he has
yellow.
Like super jaundice.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure that's a thing.
Jaundice is a condition in which the skin, sclera, whites of the eyes, and mucous membranes turn yellow.
Technically it must be, but I feel like if you're jaundiced, that's like you're on the way to being dead or something somehow.
Well, it's like jaundice. It's not the same.
Yeah, because like the liver can make you yellow or whatever. He has like Guy from Sin City disease.
That's what you think of,
right?
yeah.
Well, as you can see, there were some side effects.
Exactly.
But it's not consistent, where in some scenes it looks a lot more severe than others, and I think that's because color tinting of scenes happened like before and or after makeup application, and it screwed things up. Because you notice in some scenes I'm like, oh, okay, that's not the same guy, that's him.
That guy was creepy. There's a scene, and you probably will not agree, and I'm ready for it. As a kid, when he's crawling along the floor, it's such like this innocuous...
When there was rug?
Yeah.
Or when it was still carpeting?
Yeah, the way he's crawling where like his feet don't touch the ground. It made it so extra creepy, and then when he looks through the little hole, his eye is all like bloodshot and weird from his liver yellow disease or something. I'm like, this is creeping. This whole thing is creeping me out. And like the father dies. When it cuts back to the mom and her boyfriend trying to bury the body, and they're just using like a trash can lid and some other crap and frantically digging, and they have little blood here and there. I was like, this is awesome. Can we watch this movie? I just want to watch this like historical movie or whatever.
They're like, yes, that all the flashback parts are the best part of the movie.
Okay.
Like for sure. Those are cool.
There we go.
Because it starts to go off the rails where you're like, what the fuck? Like they set up Mr. X and this and that for things. But 9 months after the incestuous relationship, a daughter is born, and dude like rips her eye out, goes on a killing spree, and you're like, okay. That's interesting. And it's like right after or right before you meet, like there's a ginger co-ed in the thing, and you're like okay, like that might be the person, blah blah blah.
And her name is Agnes in the flashback, and it's like Eve Agnew, I think, in like the present day, and you're like, oh.
Yes, I know her. Eve Agnew, and we're positive that she's been murdered.
And she's got the clippings, or they were in her room at least, or this thing, and you're like,
so they're trying to sell you on that.
Yeah.
But like it would have been like it's a bad casting of the child because the hair color is not the same as the person ends up being. And I know you can dye hair, but I'm like, where was that person? And by bad casting also, her eye gets cut out, and maybe she had some damage to her face because they say something. But then when you see her afterwards, she doesn't look like she's like brutalized. But she looks like 10 years older than the dad, and she's like wearing a mask. Like she's wearing. It looks like she's wearing the mask from like she's Mike Myers or something. Her face looks so fucking weird and plastic.
When she's
older, yeah.
Older. When she's older, she's played by a man. She looks like a linebacker.
Yeah.
It's insane.
No, it's sort of a ridiculous casting thing. Like it's older, faker, weirder.
Because
There's a hot poker light to the face and pulls the eye out.
Because she's inbred and therefore would grow
hillbilly
into this
monster.
like swole monster.
It's not
or
like
whatever.
she's inbred from a really sickly person that would make you like doubly sickly. Like and they don't really explain why. Like he's also like a monster, that dude. Like
Yes.
what's with the eating of all the eyes?
Okay.
Sometimes that looked really awesome, and sometimes it looked stupid.
I'm glad you doubled back to this, and I can't name them all because my list is over there on my phone. But this movie's fascinated with eyeballs and the pulling out of eyeballs.
Yeah.
When he stabs his stepfather through the head, there's an eyeball like speared on the end of the thing he stabs him with. You know, someone on this team was like, well, I do a really good eyeball. And they were like, all right.
And like eyeball, it's a creepy thing because like, you know, the idea of getting your eyeball snatched, that's horrifying.
Right.
And then watching somebody like...
Obviously, I don't want anybody to take my eyes.
No.
At one point, she takes the one
Sign 'em
dude,
up.
the one dude's eyes, and there's like long stalks still attached.
He's my family now.
There's like he's like reaching in to get it, and then it pulls it out, and then it's like a snapping thing happening. It's like very visceral, and I was like, damn. Now, I don't have a heart or like a soul, so I wasn't like actually freaked out, but I was like, this would freak me out if I was freaked out by things.
Yeah,
this is a whole
sometimes
thing.
it looks really good.
Yeah.
I like that, but it's a weird, it's like, you know, on top of these weird things on top of weird things.
But before we move on, like the marshmallow roasting poker thing,
yes.
When it stabs the now like adult sister in the eye, and they do the Pirates of the Caribbean thing where it's like just stuck to the fake eye and you can just like pop it out of the head or whatever. I was like, what movie am I watching? And by then, it's almost over and I know what movie I'm watching, but that's still like, what is happening here?
Well, what is happening is the theme of the movie, because there's so many things where like, what is happening? Like they introduce the sister of one of the characters, a like 20-year-older sister who is like estranged, who just kind of like shows up, and you're like, who the fuck are you? What is this?
And they film her like Morticia Addams, where I'm supposed to know who the hell you are.
Yeah.
And I don't know who this is at all, and I hate her.
Can we help you?
She was supposed to call. I'm Claire's sister.
Not explained at all. There's no reason to know who she is.
Okay.
And that was like my start of like, I'm like, who the fuck, like, what is happening in this movie?
There's a point later on where everyone's dead, but her, the main girl, and like Kyle shows back up, the boyfriend that was making sex tapes to sell on the internet or whatever it was.
It was stolen.
No, but he said like, I wasn't dealing or doing this. I didn't hurt anybody.
I wasn't dealing. I wasn't knocking over 7-Elevens. I didn't hurt anybody.
Like, he was selling those sex tapes.
Oh, I didn't take that.
He said my friend got angry and like leaked it. I think he sold it to him or whatever.
My take of it was when he said I wasn't dealing with him. Bob was saying like, I'm not a bad person, so I did this one little thing. I like sex tapes, whatever.
Look, this was before you came here. Okay, I did not put this on the net. A guy in my work, he got pissed off at me, and he stole my tapes.
Like, that's how I took that.
I took it like, I don't get my money by doing these things. I get my money by selling sex tapes.
Maybe.
Okay.
That character, though, sneaks into the window, right?
Oh, well, yeah, earlier in the
movie,
hang on.
Yes. So, like, the group, obviously, he snuck into the window because he's not allowed to walk into the front door. His goal
He's a vampire and he was not invited in.
He still got in, so that doesn't work at all. Presumably, he wasn't trying to get into that girl's room. It may have actually been the unlocked one, because it didn't seem like he was going to see her. Maybe he was, whatever.
Right, was that like a cover story?
But when he gets caught in the house, it's very quickly like, oh, tell us a story.
Did they ever find out from him why he killed his family?
Well, It seemed to him that's how they showed their love.
Like there seemingly was no issue with a man being in the room in the first place, and then they end on horrible terms. He leaves off into the night.
Fuck all you bitches.
Get out of here now!
Yeah.
Why does he come back?
So when he comes back, my like minor note that I was gonna skip was like, and all is forgiven, and maybe right there in like an extreme circumstance, just happy to see anybody there that might be able to help. But my bigger note for this section, when he comes back, we have the older sister and like the main girl, who I think is the one from Arrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
She plays the Black Canary.
So we have the three of them. I've never seen Arrow, and I apologize in advance, but I was like. The only three characters left are the worst, most boring characters in the movie. I hate these characters. And let's go have the final act of the movie with them. I was like, oh, God.
Yeah.
And no offense to them, but I like everyone else better than them, I think.
That guy, so he's one of those faces that's really familiar to me, but I only know him from the movie The Breed that I can clock. They go, they're on an island and there's dogs that are like... formerly trained to kill or something, and they've been breeding wildly.
I'm like, I think I've seen it. Nope.
It's got Michelle Rodriguez is in it. It has a good cast, actually. It's a pretty good movie. But that's what I know him from. But he has a face, I think, that looks like some other actor, because I'm like, I know you very well.
I was like, were you in The Covenant? Do I know you? Who are you? Like, yes, I totally agree with you, but looked like all those guys look.
Yeah.
From that time period, denim jacket guy who's like, I'm kind of a rough guy. Oh, I'm dead. Like that guy. Yeah, he was that guy, and he was that guy.
But like, he pulled out a butterfly knife, and I'm like, okay. And he opened it. Did you know the open didn't? It like I didn't like rewind or watch it again. But it didn't look like he opened it. It looked like it just like snapped to being open. Like he couldn't do it, and they faked it in post. Like it was like open, close. Like
so. Like my memory of it is it was kind of opened, and all I could see, because I wasn't like looking enough apparently to see what you saw, I just saw the editor dragging like knife sound 3.wave onto the timeline of like. He did this stupid. It was so stupid. I'm like, I hate you so much. I hate all of you. All right, go to the attic. Just go to the attic. Just die in the attic. I was like screaming at the television at this point.
Yeah, it just. I'm put it in right here. Here, we'll see if it actually if I'm right. But like a traditional opening, it goes around once, back in, and closes. And his looked like it went opened.
There's like a maneuver, yeah. Like in my head, he still has his fingers in between the two handles. He hasn't like done the thing right. It was bad. I agree that it was bad. I'm not trying to defend him.
And even just to have it where it's like, what is that? Oh, I gotta show that my character's slightly badass as he then awkwardly climbs this ladder. Like, you hold the light, I'll go up so that when the door opens, I can get stabbed in the brain. Sounds good. Like,
good.
That's not how I would have done it.
3 orange whips.
I don't know what I would. Honestly, I would have been like, nah, bitch, everybody's dead. Let's get the fuck out of here. What, are you out of your mind? Like,
oh, God, yeah. So that's a whole thing earlier in the movie where, like, we're sisters in this sorority, and I wouldn't want to get left behind either. And, like, their answer is, like, half of us want to leave because fuck those people, and half of us are like, what if they're alive? And I'm like, what if you're going to die if you stay there? Like, I just want to let this be known.
The worst is when a rescue mission leads to, oh, now more of us are dead.
I know.
And that's what happens.
And like she hugs her like, oh, we're gonna, and then it's like, we'll send the cops. And she pieces out, and I was like, good, go, get the fuck out of here. Yeah.
I wouldn't even have gone in the car. I would have just been like,
started
all
walking.
Right, yeah.
It's cold.
It is cold, but like I know they said all the Sigma Kappa whatevers are away, but like their lights are on. I go at the very least, I'm gonna go there because it's not here, and they have lights. I'll kick in the front door, whatever, and lock myself on the second floor. Fuck you.
And use their phone if they have a landline.
Yeah, which I'm sure they do.
Yeah. No, yeah. Because that's a point of interest too. She looks out the window like, why is our house the only house that doesn't have power?
How fucked up is it that the only other house on this street has power? This one doesn't.
Yeah.
It's like,
how about, speaking of power, we got the girl from Party of Five or Mean Girls, depending on how old you are, and she's like, I'm not a girly girl. I know that the fuse box is actually below the house.
Oh shit. The main breaker's underneath the house. What? I'm not the totally helpless daddy's girl these bitches make me out to be.
That has nothing to do with being a girly girl at all. Why would you know that? Like,
what kind of prissy do you think I am?
yeah,
I know this.
It's not like I can change the oil on my car. It's that I know a specific location of an item that like does not matter what gender I am.
And then she says, "Go turn on." She's like, "It's cold, bitch."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. That's the girly girl thing that she literally
like,
steps back into.
That was like the joke, I guess. But yeah, it doesn't. Obviously, that doesn't work or something.
Okay, then go outside and turn the power on.
Are you high? I'm not going outside, it's freezing.
It'll take 2 seconds. You know where the power is. I'll keep looking for Claire.
And the whole going out alone while, like, bad things might be happening.
I was very underwhelmed by Party of Five Girl, Mean Girl.
Hang on. I'm sorry. I should say Lost in Space Girl because that's your favorite movie.
Wait, Lacey Chabert is her name, I believe?
I don't even know her real name.
Damn, I had it. I had all the names worked out, but there's honestly too many
She's
people.
the first vlogger. That's her.
Nice. Oh, proto-vlogger in the year 3000.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? No, there's so many people in this movie. I kind of feel like it's a boomer attitude, right? My go-to reference is always like, we can't have Nightcrawler in X-Men 3 because there's too many blue people. And it's like, why? Like, we as nerds were so angry. Like, Nightcrawler was so cool, then why'd you drop him? Whatever. And like here, there were like too many, generically attractive, like, obviously I know Harriet the Spy.
Serial killers murder repeatedly for sexual thrill. Billy Lenz was a spree killer. Dude just fucking lost it.
But there'd be like a thing where it would cut upstairs, and I'm like, who are you? And when they first showed the sex tape, I'm like, which one is that? It's
well,
like
it's also
grainy,
the lowest quality,
yeah.
like 180p.
But like the movie's cueing me in like, haha, reveal, and I'm like, which one are you, bitch? I don't know what's going on, and that kept happening with
it's all brunettes and dirty blonde
There's
hair.
like too many
and
people.
You could easily, this is college. There could have been like, oh, the girl with the pink hair, like the redhead you show for 1 second, she's gone. But
that's the anime thing. Just give everybody a weird hairstyle or clothing style, just so I know who you are.
But that was the issue, though, is they all have the same kind of hair, roughly, and they all have the exact same kind of style.
Give me some goth makeup over here.
But I guess that kind of makes sense. Where it's like, oh, we're a sorority. We all have a certain, type.
That's what I mean. It's like a boomer complaint. I can't knock the movie because I was confused which one was which.
No.
But I think some of them kind of got lost.
You could have had a different race at all.
I almost made that joke of like Black Christmas, where everyone is white as fuck or yellow. But not anything else.
Yeah, yellow with jaundice.
Yellow or various shades of white. No, like I think some of them kind of got lost, like the runt of the litter. They didn't have enough to do or whatever.
Yeah.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead ends up doing a lot. And
Mel, come on, we're leaving. Let's go. I'm not leaving Lauren, you bitch.
And Harriet the Spy does a lot, and a few other people. Michelle Trachtenberg, right?
That is Harriet the Spy.
I know.
Yeah.
I said the one actress's name, and then the one character's reference name. I wanted to be consistent.
They gave her a slight ability to fight, and then it mattered not at all.
Yeah, but like they were doing some stuff, and like that one, like when they're all talking in the beginning, it like cuts to Mean Girls girl, and I'm like, holy shit, you're in this movie too?
Didn't I see Claire earlier?
Isn't she upstairs writing a card to her sister?
No, I think her sister picked her up earlier. Remember, this is the occasion for Claire and her sister and her mom to bury the hatchet and rediscover each other.
I'd like to bury the hatchet with my sister. Right in her head.
Because in like the Wyatt Child, I was just like, all right, all these people, okay, it's fine, whatever. And yeah, she doesn't have a ton to do. She has that conversation, she's there, and then she goes below the house. And she even does like, oh, I can see your breath, bitch, and then just gets took out or whatever. And I'm like, what is happening? Because I didn't see any breath.
Eve, you crazy bitch. I can see your breath.
But we're ignoring something very pivotal here. So like some of the ridiculousness is that the dad brother is in a psychiatric facility.
It's the closest we could get to how Mom used to taste.
I was confused, and maybe you can correct slash.
I'm sure I can't because the movie didn't fill in a lot of details.
Maybe we'll both just be more confused now. But like, so like they're showing deaths.
Yeah.
At at the house. They're cutting back to the insane asylum, which is implying to me that like these things are happening at around the same time.
Yes.
And it's a running tally of like whatever.
The deaths start before he's out of the facility. So she and him coincidentally
So
link up to do this?
I had the same thought where I was like, well, why'd she know to start killing people that day? But it is Christmas is the whole point of this, and that's
but
like
he's been in that thing for how many years?
They say he tries to escape every year.
He's trying to escape every year.
This is the journey that we're going on.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, well, it's Christmas, so I guess, that makes sense. And then, no, why'd she know this was the year he was actually going to be able to escape, to get out, to do this?
No.
And if not, why would she just start killing people anyway? There's a line dropped in later. How long do you think they were living in the attic? Months? Could be years. Some dumb thing. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, bitch?
How long could they have been in the house for? Months? Years?
We're not gonna know that now. We're never gonna know.
The audience saw him escape from the insane asylum today.
I took it as the sister was living in there forever.
But they said them, so I was like, what the fuck's happening? I think she said them. Again, I'm not saying a thing.
No, I believe them was said.
But like the whole premise of the sister having been up there, that this like giant woman is up there the whole time and no one knows this whole time, and then randomly decides to start killing people, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a phone call would have helped that. They have cell phones.
It's an off-the-walls weird thing. And let's say, like, where do you think the nearest insane asylum that can hold criminally insane people is?
Of his
is there
magnitude.
like one per state?
Yeah.
Like, is he even remotely close to this house he grew up in? And if he is, he like hitchhiked or ran there? Like, it seemed like he would have lost a large chunk of his day just to get from one place to the other place. And then we get to the point that they're also like Jason, where like they can't be killed or something.
Okay, so that's my other major. That's when I was just like, okay, the movie, I'm okay with the movie ending now, right? Because like...
The movie did just end. It was just like... We just have to end it like right now. How about she just like quick pushes him? Okay,
he throws
he's dead.
him over the thing, yeah.
What I mean is, it's like you set this whole thing with a whole new area. Oh, we're in the hospital. We made it so they're not actually dead. Because you could, if you wanted to end it, you could have just ended it.
So part of me was like, they followed them to the hospital, but obviously they're like taken to the morgue, right? And like when he's still alive, I'm like, okay, attic boy, weird disease, been eating human flesh in the insane asylum and shit. Like, he's a weirdo. He's probably not dead. That makes sense. And then he opens up her body bag and she's like, oh, hi. And she's not dead either. And I'm like, you didn't die in like the same exact way. You died
like on fire?
Yeah, like all these things happen where I'm like, that does,
They don't just put you in body bags. They check to see if you're dead.
And like,
how do you explain this?
That's that's what makes it kind of like unacceptable to me, because he's sort of burned. Where I'm like, okay, he was burned up. So a bunch of other people were dead. We got to bag and tag all these people. Let's do it. I could believe that. But to like the larger point, if you're gonna change locations, if we're gonna go to the hospital to finish this party off right, you got like, it has to be worth this whole location change and all these conveniences to still to like send us there. Otherwise, what are we doing? Right?
If you're already going to spend the money for like locations and bullshit, I would have used the house you were at already one more time, and as they were bagging up regular bodies, they should have snuck into body bags and just went into the fucking pile of them in the van or whatever it is.
Could have gotten some funny scene of them in a body bag but standing up, slowly shuffling towards the thing.
Something, because what you got was dumb. Like, it was like, why did that even happen?
Because I wasn't sure what I was supposed to be scared of, or why, or like, or like what was happening, or whatever in that sequence.
That's like when you see him look through the little tile in the bathroom. I'm like, wait a minute. What am I to believe here? In my first head, I'm like, I forgot that like there's that little space between the thing because it's an old ass house, how it's built. Yeah. I'm like, is he like on a ladder looking straight up through a hole, like coincidentally? Because he was there like when it. I'm like, okay, he like pops in and just looks. There's nothing between tile and floor. Like,
there's two parts right there. One, her like foot moves like the tiles a little bit, and she like throws one in the sink and all that stuff. That is like a CG composite, like After Effects tutorial of an eyeball. Like,
yes. It's because it even like moves against the grain of the film.
It's probably the worst shot in the movie. If I'm 100% honest with you.
Agreed. I remember thinking the same thing where I'm like, oh, they just masked that in there.
It's so bad. And then later when he pokes his finger through, but like, it's weird because like it seems like the house would be like a fake house where there's places for him to be, but it's just a house.
Yeah.
And they show you under the front porch, and the attic is the attic. They even show you towards the end. This is one of the few things that I did like in the like moments or whatever when the sister falls into like the balloon construction, like the whole wall goes all the way down, and she falls all the way down. And it's like crap.
But what's weird about that is that
awesome.
the first time we experienced that is the beginning flashback when the kid climbs down that to see them burying his father. And then he crawls back up that, and he gets into the attic, and they lock the attic door like, haha, you're trapped now, jerk. And I'm like, wait a minute, he clearly can get out. He's not actually locked in there, so what are we doing? And then they give him a gift, and I'm like, are they giving him gifts every year? I'm like, that's a weird thing to be doing.
Seems like life's pretty good up there in the attic if you get a telescope.
He's like never had shoes, it seems. I'm like, it would be, the attic has no insulation. I'm like, he'd be just dead.
You would think. It's also not clear with the sister knowing that he's up there or not, or when, or how the whole thing works.
Yeah.
Like, she's not like, well, I guess she's shocked because he's killing her or whatever, but she's not like,
I believe it that she never knew he was there until he took her eye.
Because he says, like the mom says, it's nothing. Like, she's like, is that Santa up there? And it's like, no.
Yeah.
There's nothing up there.
But like she wouldn't have heard scratching and noises ever. He's been up there his whole life. He hasn't moved ever.
And because she's like 6 or more years old, right?
Yeah.
And they have to go up there to feed him and do stuff or whatever, right?
You'd think. Take his poop bucket.
Take his poop bucket, indeed. They never show a poop bucket. I feel deprived.
No, this movie was not thought out in every way.
Even if none of that held together, like that would be fine. If like the payoff was like worth of the things, right?
Because the kills were like, it wasn't even a movie where you're like, oh, let me see all these fun deaths.
Right.
Because there really weren't many fun deaths at all. Like, I'm trying to think what was the best death. They're mostly just put a bag on your head and stab you.
That's true. They reused that a couple times. It's not
well because that's how he's playing back what he knows.
That's how the mom killed the real dad, the biological father. No, and like that's fine. Like I don't mind a killer having like a signature thing, but a lot of these movies feel like exhibitions for either special effects or just like gory,
because that's what people want.
Things. Right. So I'm more in the camp of like make every kill unique in some way.
Sure.
Rather than have it be like a signature move type thing.
And you could have a signature weapon, but each death is still unique.
Right, exactly. I think it's more of like a thriller thing if you have like a signature move, because then it's oh, he's got the thing, or like when like the psychologist like starts putting on the gloves and you're like, those are the gloves from the scenes when you couldn't see the killer's face. Oh God. And you have that maneuver. No, this should have been like wrapping you in Christmas lights and feeding you to like a machine that's waiting outside of the thing. That should have been the whole thing here and stuff.
Yeah, but I gotta figure out what movie that's from. I have a memory
Interesting,
of it.
Right?
Yeah, just like winding them in.
The
or
box
something.
has a girl's face and like Christmas lights all on it and stuff. I don't know if that could have been a
maybe.
One of the other things that I did not hate was the stuff in the insane asylum.
Yeah,
I don't know how you feel about that, but
well, that set a tone of a movie that the rest of the movie really didn't have, and I kind of liked the beginning actually.
Okay.
And I would have liked more of that. You kind of knew he's like, okay, he's got they gave him that candy cane, he's gonna use that.
Yeah, when he goes and has like the sharpened candy cane, and you're like, okay. But even the thing with like the Santa and like the misdirect of like the little juicer, like milk box gets like gets like caught in the door.
Merry Christmas.
And then there's like a Santa.
How'd you get in here? The door was open.
Because like going into this,
that's really good.
Yeah, like I don't know yet, right? No one knows whether the killer is right.
Yeah.
So you just see this dun 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 Santa come out and he's like, "Hey, I'm lost." And it's just like, oh fuck, nothing. And then later, that's the same Santa that he jumps to, like take the disguise and get out.
I do love that he put his body in the sack and he's carrying him out. The part that I thought was weird about that part is he's a Santa, like, you know, so a normal looking dude, nothing special, and like some random nurse lady's like, oh, and like hands him a half-eaten candy cane. He's like, oh, you're naughty, aren't you?
Hey Santa, if I sit on your lap, will you give me what I want for Christmas?
I don't know, you've been good all year. You sure you want to blow it on the last day, huh?
And I'm like, where are we?
He reminded me of Foggy Nelson from
yeah, that's not wrong.
From The Thing.
Sure.
And just some I like that in a movie a lot when you know, when they lean into the whole thing, like, I don't have to check my list twice to find out you've been very naughty, miss. And some dumb things where you're like, okay, we're having fun here.
What was really dumb, and it's just a mistake, is like he bashes that dude, like kills him. Blood's like you just popped a blood balloon straight down.
You know, Santa's not one to keep a girl waiting.
And there's no blood on the outfit. It's a white and red outfit. It would be coated in blood.
No, it happens a lot in these sorts of things.
Yeah.
So that's his disguise. He needs that. He should have been doing like a strangle. Maybe put a bag over his head instead.
Yeah, maybe the only time that would have really made a lot of sense.
The perfect time. Yeah, and that's like an off-camera thing. You just see him. And then
but so much blood. Like you just took a bucket and went like.
Yeah, like he was doing the blood bucket challenge over his head and it all fell down. No, but that whole sequence, the guard and like him putting the present out there and him doing the whole like, I've escaped, haha, no I didn't. I saw it coming, but it was serviceable and I was like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah, you're led to almost expect the way, because the guy grabs the gift and he sets up that, like, because he twists it like 100 times. You're like, oh, he's gonna open it up and grab his hand and like pull him through and stab him. Like, why is he doing this for so long? And then when they don't do it, I'm like, oh, that's a good subversion.
Yeah.
And then like he opens up the cell because he sees it looks empty, and like he's ripped away the toilet or the water, whatever it is, and you can see the outside, like you can see the walls.
Yeah.
Looks around for far too long and then it gets murked. They have like Christmas lights in there. I'm like, why would they give him lights?
That was weird too, but I liked the weird effect of the light going on and off and
sure.
stuff.
So and he had a rocking chair, right? That's like his thing.
Gotta make it like home. The padlocks, because that like reminds him of home. I forget if this is the order it happens in the movie or if I'm just putting it together now. But like when you see him, in the closet as like a kid, he has that hole in the wall where there's stuff, and that's very similar to how everything was arranged in his cell, where he put the same hole in the wall, like he escaped through it, kind of, whatever. I remember being like, aha, or something, but I don't know if it was a memory or if the movie shows it to you in that order. But
what was weird mentioning the hole from the house is when they're like, oh, I'm gonna search her room and see if I can find any more of these old newspapers, and like you had a homing beacon, went right for that thing, went into that hole, pulled it out. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
In your mind?
No, like a lot of stuff's like that in the whole thing or whatever.
Even the idea that hole would still be there, a little weird, because they've clearly remodeled the whole home.
Yeah.
And like that's a large ass hole.
In the flashbacks, it's like a crazy.
Oh yeah, no, they really did a nice job
thing.
ripping out that carpet for that original hardwood. Ooh, it's a good floor. I love old houses with how wide the hallways are between bedrooms and stuff. I'm like, those are nice, and the super wide staircases. Old homes, very cool.
Look at you.
Very conducive to a horror movie because there's a lot of room for activities.
Pop Vila over here.
You know it.
Watching horror movies. I love it.
No, but this movie is okay. It's nothing special really.
Oh yeah.
But it does have enough elements that I'm like, these are just weird enough that you kind of have to see it if you haven't seen it already.
No, and like the outlandishness of those flashbacks and what they choose to do at the ending, right? Things can like cross over again and be like, this is what is happening. And what is happening?
With any luck, Blumhouse will take the good things from this and run with them and leave some of the crap behind.
No, I think if you had, I think maybe they can streamline this in a way, right? Because a lot of this stuff, like I said with the actresses, but also like the cell phones and like who's calling who and like okay, this is ringing and you're calling, but then is that the dead girl's cell phone you're holding? Were you calling the dead girl's cell phone?
Oh,
it was
before we
awkward
forget,
for me. Yeah.
The Party 5 girl dies. Like they kill her, and then the phone rings and you hear her scream.
Oh.
It says Dana's cell.
She's my family now.
Dana?
And I was like, the fuck are you doing?
Right, but like with like a modern setting, even if you want to use phones, you know, you can have like a little picture of, you know, of the person whose phone it is when they call you.
Of course.
So instead of just saying Claire, and I'm like, which one is Claire? What the fuck's happening? And again, I'm an idiot. I'm not saying like that's a valid complaint, but it would just be a little nicer and all that stuff. Maybe some party-driven conceits about like not having phones either, or some dumb thing like that. Whatever you gotta do in your. I think sorority house during a storm on Christmas when the crazy shut-in killer who used to live there in the attic and wants like to reclaim his home is a great premise, and we can do a lot.
Sure,
with that, so.
and if you want to go all out, you could do it like, you know, a cell tower could get hit and that falls across the road and that's what knocks out the power lines and all that bullshit. And you could do it modern day with no cell phones, no power, no whatever, and it's not as weird as like, why does everybody else have power? Like just
Right. Yeah. No, not great. Fun. Fine.
Worth watching.
Agree.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
If you want to support the show, head over to cannibalvideo.com, pick up some merch.
And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
That's alright.
Yeah, that's something.
Whatever.
Fuck these motherfuckers.
Fuck you, Santa Claus.
Cannibal Video has everything you need. A wide array of VHS and DVDs. We ate the competition.